Welcome back, and that was a feature on youth mentoring. And to talk more and deeper on how our youth can be well mentored, we have a counselor and as well as a youth advocate with us here in the studio. Help us welcome Lanre Oke to the program, sir. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. So we know how important it is to mentor our youth.
Yes.
So talk to us, how can mentorship positively impact the personal and professional development of individuals, youth?
Yes. Mentorship goes a long way because a mentor is someone who probably have attained a particular status or who has become something you are looking forward to become, who has an experience you don't have and probably can guide and show you the way to get to where you are designed to be. So, the way God designed life is such that each generation will be better than the previous. And the only way it can be that way is when we have mentors, people who have gone through the road, who can share their own mistake, who can share their own error and share their own advantages and their own strengths, and can pass that information to the other generation to tell them, look, this is where I missed it in my journey. If you are coming in this road and you see this signal, don't fall there because it will
I've
bring
gone
you
through
to
them.
then you can tell you these are the steps I took that made my journey successful. But I took them after 10 years of wastes. But for you don't need to waste 10 years. If you do it now, so it makes the next generation better. And because we don't have this provision, that is why we have decadence right today in our economy and our nation.
Okay, let's look at the qualities
Yes.
a mentor will need to possess to be able to guide the young people.
A mentor should be one who is patient, actually, because he must be able to interact and relate with them. Because if you are not patient, you may not be able to accommodate or tolerate the excesses of the youth thereabouts. So you must be one who is patient and one with knowledge. Knowledge is critical because if you don't know, how will you lead? Yeah, you must know what I don't know for me to follow you. So because you must be able to tell me what I don't know. So for me to say, okay, you have something I don't have because of this knowledge. To follow. So somebody that knows what to do. And if he does not know what to do, he knows where to go. He says, okay, this is the issue, but this is what to do. Now, I don't even know what to do, but I know where to go to get this thing done. It should be somebody with that basic knowledge and, of course, wisdom. He knows how to get things done. It is not sufficient to just have the knowledge of the facts, but you should also have the wisdom of how to apply these. Okay, this is what is this. This is, it takes even understanding. So basically, I would say a man with knowledge, with wisdom, with understanding, and patience. They are key virtues a mentor must possess because what you don't understand, you actually do not possess. So it must be a man who has the understanding of life. He can understand, he can look at what is now, and from what is can predict what can be.
Okay,
Yes.
can I also add good character? Because there's this saying like, do as I say, but don't do as I do.
That person is not
So
wise.
I believe that a good character should be part of the qualities.
Sure, you are right. A good character. Because if you don't have a good character, you can't. What will you mentor?
Can't be a mentor.
Yeah, what will you mentor?
And it will not be like worthy of emulation.
Because a mentorship, you look at two sides. You look at even your failure, and you look at your success, and give reasons for the failure. If we have mothers today who will mentor their daughters and say, the reason why I'm not staying with your father, or the reason why I'm separated from your father is because when your father speaks once, I speak 10 times. And you tell the daughter, when you grow up and there is something that tells you reply or say something, kill that. If we have parents talk like that, their daughters will have been better.
And it should also be vice versa.
Vice versa. So if you see a man who says, the reason why I'm still a tenant at 70 is because every time I get money, something tells me spend it, spend it.
Instead of
when you are growing up and you have the spirit of spending, deal with it. If you have fathers talk to their sons, that we have a better generation. And things like that. So, of course, I agree with you, a good character.
Okay, I also have fathers who will say to their sons, please don't raise your hand to hit your or please, they say these days men nag more than women. There are men that really nag.
Of course, it's upbringing.
So it's also good to tell the sons, don't do as all right. I think
talking about mentoring the youth to be resilient, to be aware of their self-esteem. What programs do you think should be outlined for them to learn properly on how to be resilient?
Yeah, there are so many programs like emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Something, yeah, like I tell people, we take so many things for granted. Somebody was talking to me recently about his as child. He said the child is over 1 year, and some people were saying by now the child should not be using diapers and things like that. But she's seeing the neighbor using. I said, okay. So I asked the lady. I said, what have you learned about child care? He said, nothing. That's the problem. Because we just feel that there are things we should just do by nature. We don't see. I tell people, do you know that you need to learn how to think? Don't just think, well, what's the big deal in thinking? No.
Yeah, some persons will tell you, I have a thinking corner, I have a thinking room.
Yes,
you need to learn how to think, because there are different kinds
meditation
of
kind of.
There are different. There is the realistic thinking. There is the creative thinking. There are different types of thinking, and you should know when to think this kind of thing. So there are this optimistic thinking. There is diverse kind of thinking. Either you are trying to be a creative thinker, you are trying to be a realistic thinker, you are trying to be optimistic thinker. You are just different forms of thinking.
But be positive in your thinking.
Yes, there's also, and all of them has their own advantage and disadvantage. Then of course you can also learn how to communicate. So there are things we ought to learn that we just feel there's no need for it, because we just felt, because we've gone through school and they told us A plus B is for apple, things like that. So those issues like emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, how to live peaceably with others, self-discovery, self-identity, identifying, even running a SWOT analysis on yourself, your strength, your weakness, but those kind of value systems, they help us to become better. You need to know how to even manage failure. It's one of the things. There's people who have been taught how to succeed. They are not taught how to manage failure. So when they fail for the first time, it's an issue. They can't manage it. So they are part of the things where
that is why most people are taking their lives.
Yeah. They just commit suicide. Somebody jilts them and they don't know what next to do. That is a failure. And the person has not been taught how to manage failure. They've just been taught this is what to do to succeed. This is what to, but you need somebody to also teach you. Those things are
how to manage failure. Wow. So now let's look at, I don't want to say Nigerian youths have a lot of issues. I don't want to say, but what and what do you think? I don't want to say that. Okay. So what and what do you think that not only the government, everybody, like all hands on deck, what and what do you think we can do to enable our youth channel their energies to positive?
Yes, I think we should encourage. There was a time I heard, I don't know, that Alhaji Aliko Dangote was going to do one-on-one mentorship for some individuals on certain conditions, on people who have been in business and things like that. Maybe 1 hour, I can't remember that detail, one particular. I was very interested, but I think the conditions and the criteria. In fact, personally, I'd wanted to hear him talk to me about business ideas and how he started. Those men who rose from nothing to something, they have stories to tell that can guide. So when we have maybe all these men who became heroes, although some of them become, today they are so fixed and tight, they have schedules and things like that. But if they can give room, I was giving a proposal to some banks. I said, look, why not organize Union Bank, First Bank, UBA, all manners of bank. I just organize one mentorship program for youth in the universities. And just invite somebody to talk to them, give them free lunch, give them this one, and that is, take it as your corporate social responsibility, your CSR.
Wow.
Yeah, just go to universities, organize a show instead of all this dance and this and this, and let people put values in the heart of people. And that way, it can, so we can, apart from government, if government will play their role, government will need to revive the syllabus and the curriculum of schools from primary to secondary to tertiary. Then if other corporate entities, private organizations are also giving back to the society, organizing those kind of things, mentorship class, success forum and things like that. Then parents also take their responsibility and say, look, we need to produce in the next generation that will be better than ourselves. We must tell them the truth and expose ourselves and let them know that this is our own failure. I run a class every month in Abuja here on mentorship where I tell them where I failed and the reason why I failed and why you should not fail and what I did that made me succeed. I run in Nigeria, I run for one for UK. The one in Nigeria is the first Sunday of the month. The one for UK is the second Sunday. We did one for UK.
Okay, I like that. Let's pause it and go on a break. When we come back, you tell us some of the success stories from the class. Okay. Yes, we have been talking about youth mentorship. Now let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we will continue the discussion. Welcome back, and we are still here talking about youth mentoring with our youth advocate here with us. Yes, before we went on that break, you told us about the class you're running. So talk to us some of the success stories and the achievements.
Yeah, for me, like, okay, for yesterday, I did a UK mentorship class, and I was speaking about the fighting for your destiny. That initially I thought that because I had a vision, and the vision is clear for me, I had an understanding that this is what God planned for me. I just felt that it will happen. I just felt like by waking up, going out and coming back, things will fall in place. I got to understand that I needed to fight for it. That even though if God has given me this, it doesn't happen the way I think it will happen. So there is the fight I must have. So I needed to look for the fighting tools, the weapons to fight with. I discovered that to fight to get to my inheritance, the first thing I need to equip myself with is knowledge. I need to understand who I am. Because if I don't know who I am, I can be something lesser than who I am and be contented.
Sure.
But if I have the understanding that this is who I am, and even men are applauding me, I know that I'm far from what I should be, and I'm consciously working on a daily basis to become what. So I must understand what God has given me to. God has not given me everything, so that's why I need people. So I must understand the things God has given to me. So I know that
freely given to you.
Yes, this is my own advantage in life, and I will leverage on this advantage to achieve. To become what God wants to be. So I felt like, okay, knowledge was one of the things. I felt like prayer. It is not sufficient to say just I pray. There is the school of prayer. I must master the arts, the strategies, the skills of prayer if I must come into be what God wants me to be. And of course, I also mentioned divine joinings, the people God has brought. I must be joined to something greater than myself.
People in your life matters a lot.
Take me, because I tell people, I say the quality of your life cannot be greater than the first 5 people in your contact.
Wow.
If you look at the quality of your life, if you want to look at the quality of your life, look at 5 people that you relate with regularly. The quality of your life will not be greater than theirs in some way. So if you don't like the quality of the life of 5 people you relate with regularly, then change those people. Because 2 things will define your parameters in life: the books you read and the people you relate with. You won't be greater beyond that circle. Because they will influence you. And because there are things that you want to be, that those things or things you desire that you should have, those things also desire to have you. But they don't desire this version of you. So I need to become a version of the things that I desire, so that they can talk. Because it's the love life.
This has nothing to do with age, At every stage of your life, you have to keep gaining more knowledge to be better and to fulfill your destiny, right? Okay.
Wow.
I must be today something better than yesterday. So each day must be bringing me to a version of what the future says I am. And I must not live a lesser version.
So can we talk on,
let's talk about, go ahead.
Okay, let's just talk about the role that mentorship plays in leadership position.
Yeah, it is very important that leadership is actually not complete if you don't raise a mentor. It is a law of leadership. You can't say you fulfilled, because once you go, then there is nobody to continue the work. So you must be able to pour yourself into someone who will also pour into another person. It's a mandate. I say, look, I'm pouring into you so that you can pour into another person. So use your wisdom to ensure that this guy does not die safely, kill him, deal with him. So you need to now pour yourself into others. Look, when I was coming in the ladder of success to data of fulfillment, these are the issues I have. And look, you are likely to come in that issue. So when you begin to see this one, deal with it. Because what we bring somebody from grace to grass actually followed him from the grass. So if you don't deal with it from the grass, it will also bring you from grace to grass.
So that means you must take care of the ladder that took you up.
So you must tell people, these are the mistakes I made. I shut doors against relationships, thinking that life can be achieved alone. But I didn't know that this world is an ecosystem. So you need to tell people, I made this mistake, please don't make it.
Don't make it,
This is the advantage, this is the opportunity I had. And when you see it, please take advantage of it. It makes the next generation better. Make it better. So it is mandatory for leaders to raise others. Not those people who will be subject to them, but people with the intention, people who will be greater than them.
Okay, so let's look at the career choice. How do mentorship, affect career choice?
Yeah, it is. Even now, if you look at, I tell people, the way the world is moving at this moment, there are some careers that may not be relevant in the next 10 years.
Yes. I agree with you.
So I keep telling people in my mentorship class, I say, why not take a course on sales? Take a course on marketing. Because you will sell. There is no, if you are in the ecosystem of the world, you will sell.
There's nothing
Either you are selling an idea, you are selling a service, you are selling a product. So I said, take a course on sales, take a course on marketing. And if you want to do well, take a course on IT, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
That is where the world is going right
That's
now.
the trend. Because in the next few years, the entire education system will be online. It won't be a wall anymore. The market is gradually coming online. News will come online. Everything will come online. Religion will come online. Education will come online. So at that period, if you are not relevant in IT, big data, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and the rest, you will not play. In fact, now medicine will now have e-medicine where you can just put your band on your wrist and your doctor can
discover
interpret.
what's wrong with you.
Even on your system, you can just put on and you read what the issue is, and okay, this is the problem with me. That band connects with your body and interpret on your laptop.
And so even prescriptions can come.
The prescription
Honestly.
And now we can even have, and of course, we have Google Drive now where your car can be driven without a driver. So now look at so many people are having driving skills when they may not be necessary anymore. We just move into trend 10, 20 years time.
So it's good to step up.
Yes, it's good. While you are doing whatsoever you are doing, have certain skills. That makes you relevant for the future.
Thank you so much. You've given us a lot. But before we let you go, your final words, because we can see that you have so much to give.
And as a mentor and as a youth advocate, please talk to them.
If we want to talk, the youth of these days, I think what is missing in this present day youth is process. They want to get the results. They need the output without the process. They don't know it's the process that qualifies them for that. So they look for me. That's why you have all this ritual skilling, you have this fast food, and parents are not helping it. I've had the story of a particular politician who was in politics and set up a multi-million-naira farm company, farm industry. And because the son was reading agric in the university, immediately that son finished from the university, just said, okay, let him just come here and be the MD.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2 years, the hundreds of millions company came down.
Wow.
Because that child went to school but didn't go through process.
Yes.
Yeah, he should have told the child, you're going to be this MD, but will you come in the entry level and learn the process and climb. Because process brings life out of you. That is why you see some people who became husband and they don't have the life of the husband because the process, there's no process. They're not taught. We just think that we can do things just because this is normal. No, I tell people, who taught you how to be a father? Who taught you motherhood? Did anybody sit you down? Did you read a book? Did you take a course? What do you know about a child within age 0 and 1? What is the future about a child within age 0 and 1? What happens when a child is 2 years?
Wow.
Is it, well, we just take it? No, you need to be taught. The way you are taught how to communicate, you need to be taught how to think. You need to talk how to take care of a child. You need to be taught how to be a wife.
Wow.
Yeah. So when that process is missing, which the youth is not patient for, then they misbehave. So because the process is not in them, so they don't have the life for it.
Thank you so much for this wonderful information.
Awesome.
We learned a lot from this.
Honestly. We learn how to think. You learn how to do everything. Everything.
And going through process.
Honestly, it's very, very important. Thank you so much. Thank you. Heard it all. Thank you so much, Mr. Larry. Okay, hope I'm right. Okay, he's a youth advocate. You've heard it from him. A word he says enough for the wise. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, the program continues after this break. Stay tuned.